Now that we got a good one in the books.
I gotta close my eyes.
Have you ever played as Tainted Cain?
I don't remember. Speaking of I don't remember. I'm sorry, John, I don't remember. I heard you bantering, but I don't want to expose anything on the back wire, but also you've been talking about a little pokericity.
Yeah.
How does that, like, can you play for real or you just play for like bits?
I mean, there are streamers. I'm just gonna do an Eden run, man.
Okay.
There are streamers who live stream their poker games like for real money. That would be the extent of what I would want to do. Like I would never be like, oh yeah, today we're gonna like, you know, 3 table into like I'm gonna lose my life savings, right? But if there was like a prize pool or something like that, and dude, come on, I got the laser beam already. You gotta let me snag that one. I mean, come on, double laser. If there was like a prize pool of like, you know, I don't know, a couple grand or something like that, and we could play with streamers, and like whoever won got, you know, 50% of the prize pool, and then second got like, you know, 25% or something like that, and so on. I think that could be cool.
Is that legal?
I think if you do it right, I don't think it's illegal on Twitch. Like, I mean, I played in, ideally it would be like a sponsor putting up the money. Like I played in that chess tournament, right? Where it was like the winner got 4,000, second place got 2,000 or something like that, yeah.
But poker or chess is not regulated by the California Board of Appeals.
I think anything where you put money on it becomes a gambling thing. It's not like you could be like, oh, Your Honor. Like, it's not a game that you could play at the casino, so... Wow. Just no consultation whatsoever.
What, you got tech? You got tech!
you got 2 items! Okay, blow this up, please. Oh, yeah, I can do it. I had the bombs. What am I talking about?
Oh, I didn't know you only had 1 H.
Well, none of that would have given me HP anyway, so you're in the...
Okay.
You're in the clear on that one.
So I guess if you're competing for money, what's the difference if you're competing for money with cards?
Well, like, I'm gonna just sidestep the question.
Yeah.
Because, like, there's a streamer, this is no joke, is a prominent streamer.
Let me go in there,
Yeah. They play slots on stream. They hit a jack.
Oh, you watch that guy?
I don't, but on Twitter, somebody I follow was like, I just watched this guy on Twitch win a $720,000 jackpot in slots. And if that's okay to do on Twitch, then I can't imagine a poker game would be anything like particularly would irk them.
Do you think those strictly online casinos? I'm not trying to cause any problems. Do you think they're above board, like with the odds?
Honestly, I do.
Really?
As weird as it sounds, I'm like, if you were a casino business, why would you cheat? Like, you're already cheating. It's baked into the business principles, right? You should take, I think,
Brother Bobby.
Why not? Like, you're already. It's like, do you think that maybe like the MGM Grand in Vegas is ripping you off? And I'm like, well, yes and no. I don't think they're cooking the books. I think that, but the business is built on the fact that you come in there and lose money because that's the way the games are set up in the first place. Like, you signed up for that when you walked into the door.
I'm saying, like, what if they tightened up the odds a little bit? Like, it's supposed to be 1 in 3 chance to win, but it's like 1 in 3.75.
It's possible, but like I guess that's where I'm at. It's like if you're, you know, you already have a business where anytime anybody gives you $1, you give them like 94 cents back. It's the greatest business of all time. Oh, that's nice.
Should I use my chaos? Oh, you have chaos card. Oh, you're doing some big D.
Using chaos card on gurglings.
Dad's key shot speed up.
It's like not even in the vicinity.
Pentagram D up. All right.
You got that one for sure.
All right. Yeah, that could be interesting. Just well, how about this? How about you put up the money and then we all play for it?
No, I'm like so, I wouldn't say risk averse, but I'm like, I really don't derive that much pleasure from gambling. Like even I mean we've talked
about been playing the biggest loot box for 10 years.
Maybe I get enough from Isaac that I don't need it in other vicinities, but like, you know, even when this came up for us on the back channel as well, but another friend of mine was like, you know, oh, I think I should invest more in like REITs, like real estate income trust, because of like, you know, I like the outlook there more than like the bond market and stuff like that. And I was like, you can't convince me. Like that's too risky for my blood. I don't want to be like refreshing the Canadian mall index. We just lost the run due to like degrading HP over time. Like I mean, we can. You should, yeah, you got it. There you go. Dude. You should take Holy Mantle. Don't stand there. Yeah, I learned that lesson the hard way.
Why? You take the other one.
No, because the pink fire will shoot you, yeah.
I didn't see it.
Okay, I'm just going to Chaos card this guy. We don't have bombs. I can't even break them. All right, well.
No, I feel like we've talked about this before. If I go to the casino, like, which is, there's one in Detroit. I don't go to it. But if I'm in Vegas, like, you just put money aside. Oh, one more time. And just, it's like, oh, you're ooh.
I think I take, because it's laser. Yeah. It's got laser synergy, maybe.
Try Sag. Ooh.
Oh my. That's not bad. You know what?
In theory.
Just for that. He just stood there. So good. I've been there, but you can step on it one more time. Come on.
No, I think it's bad.
Come on.
Right? Can I get some C card, please?
Owned.
Oh, thank you.
Owned. Oh!
Eddie room, baby.
Okay,
I take one, you take one. You are going all out on the Eddie room.
Dude, why wouldn't you at this point? I mean, we can fight Mega Satan on this run. Not that it'll necessarily like give us anything, but you like to get up close and personal, huh?
I was watching your character. I should talk to, well, I'm not talking. You should have like a colored aura.
I do shoot laser beams out of my face, so
yeah.
All right. Just kidding, unless.
But if you go to Vegas, if I go to Vegas, I'm like, okay, here's X amount. Like this is what you lose.
It's gone.
Like this,
yeah.
Yeah. You just have fun with this, and then that's it.
Maybe you'll win, but I feel like you. Yeah, the smart thing to do is accept that it's gone. But I think people, and you know, it's just my thought on it. I think people lie to themselves. I think they tell themselves, dude, you should take this and use it a little bit. Yeah.
What does that do?
Turns your spirit hearts into red hearts.
Thank you.
It's worth it, especially with Yum Heart. But I think they say to themselves and to other people, hey, I'm going to take, let's say, $500 into the casino, and I only take in what I'm willing to lose. And then that's socially acceptable. But then in their heads, I think that if you were to probe their brain with like an MRI, they truly believe that they're going to walk out with more than they walked in with.
Really?
I think that a lot of people know what you say to deflect that towards the other side, where you're like, no one's ever going to judge me for this. But if you look at their brain activity, I think they're like, I believe that I'm going to beat the odds today. And I think they believe it every day.
See, I thought you were going to say the person that goes in with like, say $100, like, all right, this is what I'm going to spend. That all of them say, all right, well, I need to make sure I have my ATM card.
Yeah, that's I think there is that as well. But I'll admit, I just like, I think you have to pick that up if you want it. I mean, I just don't get gambling to some extent. Every once in a while, like, I think if I went to Las Vegas like once every like 3 years or something like that, maybe I'd be I could get into it and recognize it, but I don't find it fun. Like I have too much loss aversion. Yeah. And the other thing is, like, I think to some extent, when you know probability, it takes some of the magic out of it, because you really, like, especially the online casinos, it blows your mind that literally, like, you basically just programmed a machine that takes my money. Like, it doesn't do any, there's no, like, engineering behind it, there's no, like the ones that are not even like reels spinning, it's literally just like basically a random number generator spits out like a seed, and is like, on this seed, you know, you gain 1.25 of what you put in, right? Like, it's literally just it's just a Skinner box to some extent.
But don't you know that it's not really random? You take the stapler. Pete Chat loves stapler. I don't know why.
It's the best. It's pure damage, pure dopamine. Yeah, at least, like, so I watched Chibley stream Crazy Time, and that I got, because it's like a Wheel of Fortune type thing where it spins around. There's like maybe 100 things that it could land on. When it lands on this thing called Crazy Time, like, I'm just gonna pause to get this moment under control, because I can't overstate this. It lands on a thing called Crazy Time. The host who's been spinning the wheel goes, they open a locked door, walk through it, and it's like this huge green screen studio, and it's got superimposed like roller coasters and like rainbows and unicorns and stuff. It looks like it's like a planet sized, right? And then when you go into the room, it spins like another wheel that's like, oh, you're going 10x on this, on whatever it gets. And then a big roller coaster comes down and like starts spinning. And I'm like, that I respect. When it's like, oh, I put $1,000 on the slot, ding, 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 I won $875. I'm like, that scares me.
Wait, so Crazy Time is a slot machine, or it's a video game, or it's a television show?
It's an online casino slot machine type game with a live host. I would never play it, for the record, but anytime Chibley's playing it, I'm like, I gotta watch.
Like, for real money? For
real money, yeah.
Oh.
And you know what's crazy? Like, the casino that you play on, you can see what other people are winning. You can't see what they're losing, which I have to imagine is probably a design choice. But so, like, whenever a crazy spin comes up, you'll see, like, there's people that win $20,000 to $100,000, which effectively means, like, once you start doing the math, they must have put down, like, you know, maybe $5,000 or $10,000 on the average spin.
Yeah,
which is just, I find it kind of sad that there's like people at home with that level of disposable income that are just like, yeah, I'll just sit here for like an hour and, like, I don't know, chain smoke and just throw 5K, 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 5K. Like, that's sad to me, for sure.
But it's just numbers on a screen, right? It's not like the actual money. That's what they good job of.
And they bully the hosts. Yeah, they're all like, whenever the host like spins badly and it comes up badly, they're like F you, leave. I hate you. And whenever the host is a lady, it's almost worse, because they're like, you know, I love you, like, jump when you spin and stuff like that. Like, it's okay. Why don't you come in here? All right, why don't you leave? It's gambling's wild, man. Yeah.
I read this article, and I think when you were talking about gambling, what is that?
What the heck is that? I ain't never.
That is an enemy from Zelda 1.
Evil charm. Luck up plus you feel protected.
I was reading this article, and we were talking about, like, gambling. It says essentially the clickbait title was "Smart People Have Less Fun." And when you were describing, like, looking at a slot machine like a probability box with Skinner, I'm like, this article's coming true.
I like blackjack. You get like a social experience, and there's almost like you get a little, I would call it intellectual satisfaction, because you're like going through the flow chart, right? Like, oh, this is what I have, this is what the dealer has, so the optimal play in this situation is this. It's the slots that just get me, because I'm like, you're literally just pressing a button. Oh, dude, this is huge for you.
Okay. Yeah, but it's the noise. You take that.
Yeah, it's probably a good idea. And then like the other thing with the slot machines is like seeing how many of them are based on like movies from 1998. Like anytime you go into Vegas, you expect it's gonna be like guys in suits, and the slot machines are gonna be all like bells and cherries and stuff like that. But instead, you always walk in and it's like, you know, the Austin Powers Gold Member slot machine, Desperate Housewives slot machine. Oh, you got 5 Eva Longorias in a row. Then it plays like yeah. Go ahead.
Can I tell you my favorite? The last time I was in Vegas, I spent the majority of my time when I was in the casino, playing the Willy Wonka slot machine. I just wanted the Oompa Loompas, man. When you hit the Oompa Loompas, it sends you to like this alternate reality spin world.
Dude, that's crazy time. Yeah.
But why do you think they do that? Because they know I wouldn't play Johnny's slot machine, but I'll play Willy Wonka.
There's no way for me to say it without being like kind of rude.
No, be rude.
I think that they probably do hook more people by advertising like, you know, crap movies on the slot machines, because because the average person that's playing them maybe doesn't have discerning taste, is maybe what I would. The kind of person who would be like, you know, I'm gonna throw $1,000 into like this Universal Soldier like Stargate slot machine. Like, you ever hear the idea that like scammers deliberately use like broken English when they email you because they want to target people that are like, they want to filter out the people that are skeptical right off the bat. So if they emailed you in perfect English, they might get halfway down the line with somebody and then find out, oh wait, they now we're gonna suss out that it's a scam. Whereas if they email you with like complete nonsense, the only people that will reply are the easiest marks that they could possibly get. That's kind of how I feel, I guess, about the about the concept of the Austin Powers slot machine.
Let's just use Willy Wonka as an example. But here's my thing, though. In no other venue, I should play this, huh?
Yeah.
In no other venue can you interact with Willy Wonka.
Right.
And the Oompa Loompas.
Well, you could watch the movie.
Yeah, but you're not interacting with it. You're just passively watching it.
Are you really interacting with it in the slot machine?
Yeah, if you get the Oompa Loompas, then you get a 4 to 10x modifier.
I can't argue with that. I mean, dude, we're gonna win this run easily.
You Thansia?
I'm gonna let you have it for learning purposes. Also, I have like 5 more items than you, so by all means.
Ooh, synth oil.
Just go ahead, make it even, yeah, right. Even-ish. Although you do have Holy Mantle, Jesus Juice Synth Oil, the Pentagram, Dark Matter, and Blue Cap, and I do have 2 key pieces. Now that I think about it, maybe it's not that even, but
the difference is though you didn't play the slot machine.
I guess that's true. Whoa.
Which I think, like, talking about gambling, to me it's surprising that you're so into the stock market. If you don't like gambling,
it's a different form of gambling, I guess. Like, here's and you can play this, I guess, and hopefully I'll get another blood bag. There's the same kind of data that applies to like the casino applies to the stock market. You have 100 years of return from the casino. You know it decays to 0 over time. In the stock market, the long-term data is like your average rate of return is like 7% after inflation. So you have a history. There's a historical precedent, not to say that it couldn't change at some point in the future. The historical precedent is that over time things go up, whereas at the casino, the historical precedent is hard-coded and mathematical that over time you go to 0. So they're not that I almost see it like the stock market is essentially a casino where the odds historically are in the player's favor. And I mean, the GME investors might not agree with that statement. However, yeah, take a stab at it. I think that when people say like, oh, you don't like gambling, but like you invest, I'm like, well, I think that comes from a fundamentally, like a place of ignorance, like without knowing. They do both have risk and they both have reward, but it's a different kind of risk. Like the risk in the stock market is more a risk of timing and volatility, whereas the risk at the casino is literally like built into the mechanisms of the casino.
But you can still beat it.
You can beat,
you can beat a machine. You can't beat the stock market. What is that?
I would take issue and agree with both of those. I don't really know what that is, but empty heart and multi. I think if you have empty heart containers, they become HP ups on the next floor, something like that. Something along those lines.
So theoretically, I would want to have one red heart going to the next floor.
Yeah. You know what? I'm sick of this guy.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, I'll take that. You're gonna be rich on HP, so don't even sweat that, man. If you have one red heart or less, you get an HP up every floor. There you go.
Kind of nice.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
So I want to take some D here then.
Do you?
What? Yeah.
All right.
If you have one red heart or less.
That's, a personal decision for you, I suppose.
Caffeine pill? You get smaller and it drops a pill?
Sure, why not?
Porn photo?
You!
Full health? Yep.
Oh, but then I thought you wanted to take some D.
Oh, I forgot.
The deal with the devil is driving through downtown Dross, begging through text for the location of the devil deal.
I know you know a lot of words. Did you ever hear the term dross before, Isaac?
I had not. I had never heard the word dross. Except on Friends, where I believe he dated Rachel.
What do they call fans of Friends? Friendlies?
I have no idea. What do they call fans of Friends? I don't have an answer for that. How did you feel about Friends? You strike me as you were in like the exact demographic for it.
What? And just for clarification, what is the exact demographic?
You were, in your teenage years when it was popping off at the height of its popularity. You lived in the country in which the show takes place, which I'm sure is not that much of a novelty when you're an American. But, it's got to play into that a little bit. On top of that, I would say, back in the mid-1990s, there was way less cynicism about television. Like the idea of you would watch TV and then you would talk about it like with your friends at recess the next day. So there was more compliance, shall we say, with watching television.
You think there are a lot of like grade school kids talking about Rachel and Joey at the swing set?
Maybe we ran in different circles.
Oh, okay. I was not into Friends. Were you?
That surprises me. I watched it with my mom and my grandma a decent amount. But I guess it was awkward. Not really. I mean, it's not that offensive of a show. It aired on NBC Thursday nights. They couldn't really run too much controversial content. I'll tell you though, even as a teenager, I kind of got over the show when they clearly ran out of ideas and just had everybody start having intercourse with everybody. Like when they were friends and then occasionally they dated, you're like, this show's kind of funny. It's got some sharp writing. And then they're like, oh, well, Joey or Ross and I just broke up, so now I'm going to date Joey. And I'm like, oh, it's just like, it's basically like Dragon Ball Z. It's like who would win in a fight? Who would, it's like 50 Shades of Grey, man. It was too much.
How old were you when you watched Friends?
It ended when I was like maybe 14. So I was in my late adolescence, early teen years.
So
but
you were
I had
criticizing at age 12. You're criticizing the writers of.
I would say I became a snob when it comes to media probably in 2002. Right at 13, 14 years old for sure.
And what gave you the credence to do that? You think?
I was just like, I can do better than that.
One of the most popular shows of all time. Well, Dan, it's not about being popular. It's about actually being witty and having some comedy.
It's not a terrible show. It's like it's no Big Bang Theory, but it's, you know, overrated, I would say.
Did
you ever consider leaving the room with your holy mantle?
I was wondering what you're doing up there. Nah, yeah, Friends to me, I didn't watch Seinfeld when it came out, and I didn't watch Friends when it came out.
You're missing out on Seinfeld. Seinfeld is a great show.
No, Seinfeld I watched post haste.
Okay, fair enough.
But I've never seen the finale, so I've been saving it. So we're saving.
It's worth. I think in the context, like when it aired, it was not as good as the average Seinfeld episode. But now, if you saw it, you would probably be like, it's just Seinfeld. Like time heals all wounds.
But at the time, you're like, what is this garbage?
I mean, I was like probably 9 when it aired. So I was just like, hey, Kramer doing Kramer stuff. But if I was 14, I would have written up a heck of a blog post, man. I would have lit Larry David up.
Did you ever have a blog?
I did not ever have a... Well, actually, like in 2014...
Wait, real quick. Hold on.
Yeah.
Go back real quick.
Yeah.
You see what I see?
Yeah.
No, look at it. It has an eye. You just ruined it. Okay, sorry. Did you have a blog?
Yeah, in 2014, Malf made a website for me because I was like, you know, the YouTube stuff is fun, but like I could use another hobby. What if I like, you know, I was playing a lot of Europa Universalis 4, and I was like, what if I like wrote up my EU4 games on this blog and people could follow along? It was like something people do with Paradox games that seems a little hilarious, you know, 7 years later. But so I did that for a bit, but I just like fell out of it. Like it hit the point where like a lot of hobbies, you're like, you do it for fun and you're like, oh, I can't wait to like do more of it. And then eventually you're like, oh, I can't bear to like do this, but I have to do it to keep like the streak up, whatever, of doing a post a day. And then you come to resent it a little bit, and I just like, I let it die basically.
Wait, so you would play a game, a strategy game.
Yeah.
And then when you're done playing it, you would write an essay about it?
You would like take screenshots of what was happening as it was happening and then be like, whoa, would you believe it? Like France is getting uppity. They manufactured a casus belli against me.
It always surprised me that you played a blue deck in Magic the Gathering, but no more. After you got an AARP going on a live journal, you know, it's a no judgment zone. But
makes perfect sense, yeah.
What was the name of the website?
I think it was just northernlion.me or something. But I'm pretty sure that Malf, I mean, he was paying for literally the hosting and the domain, so it's probably expired by now.
Yeah, but you could go to Internet Wayback Machine though, and it's
you could if you wanted to go one step further from reading them contemporaneously, which nobody ever did. You could go into the Wayback Machine and then read the EU4 AARs 7 years later, and 12 DLCs and patches ago. So it probably seems like checkers.
Wait, so were these based off of your YouTube videos or just games you would play on the side?
Games I would play on the side.
Oh, okay.
It's almost, you know what it was? It was more like, I was playing so much EU4 that I needed to do something that felt productive to justify the time. Is all like I needed it to kind of be like a side hustle in order to justify spending that much time playing the game.
Well, and what do you think? So it's like basically just a strategy game, right?
Yeah.
It's like more advanced Civ.
I think that's a fair way to describe it, yeah.
So what about that drew you in?
I played it at one of the Paradox cons that I got invited to. And I think it was kind of like infectious. Like they introduced it into in a very cool way. It was like a LAN party where I played against people who had been playing the game for like, 10 years. And you start to see like what people love about the game when you get introduced to it in that context. So I played it enough myself to get to that point, and then I was like, people might be interested in this. Like I was reading other people's AARs, which are after action reports, and I was finding them compelling, so I was like, I'll make them myself.
Did you do it in like NL fashion, like funny, or were you very serious about it?
I honestly, we're talking like 7 years ago. Like I've talked about it now almost as much time as I put into it then. So the very specific answers to the questions are going to be manufactured, I think.
Can I ask one very specific question that I would bet some money on?
Okay, yeah.
Was this before you met Kate? You were doing this?
No.
Okay.
But it was early in our relationship for sure.
Did she know about this when you started?
Yeah, of course. Wait, what's the? She didn't know about this when we started dating because it just said I started doing it after we started dating.
Okay.
3,
right.
2, 1, go. Yeah, you shouldn't have picked that up.
Why?
Owned. Okay. Yeah, this is fine. 3, 2, 1, go. Oh. It's alright, I can't use shot speed anyway. Alright, down to the next floor. We've only got Polaroid now, though, so we can go streamer room, that's fine.
Yeah, streamer room. No, I'm just teasing. But I've never heard that's, every time we play, I hear something new. That's new. You know what? Don't be bashful.
Dude, that's pretty good. I guess I should have just left, but yeah, I mean, it's also like people they evaluate with hindsight instead of like what it was like in the moment. When you're looking at like the way that history went, obviously, when you see what happened to Twitch and YouTube over the course of the last 7 years or something like that, people are like, why would anyone ever want to watch someone or read someone's report of them like playing a game? But the history of Let's Playing is like rooted in screenshots and text first, and nobody knew that YouTube and Twitch were gonna like keep going the way that they did up to that point, and like, there was an idea that maybe blogs would at some point get a resurgence over YouTube and Twitch. It's kind of just hedging my bets, I guess.
Honestly, the first website I was obsessed with as a kid, it was like a guide/community update site for an MMO that I played. But it was, this is like early 90s, called Jareth Info Realm, and it was this guy. he would post screenshots of what people were doing, like the items and stuff. And I still remember his real first name and that he went to Northwestern University. Is that weird?
The old internet was it was a different place for sure.
Because I remember I thought it was a big deal. He had it hosted on a college website. This was like before GeoCities, where you couldn't really get a website,
I just had to grab it. I had to snag it.
All right.
Also had to use my Ace of Clubs card because you wouldn't stop shooting them.
It's okay. I'll just take the Sun card. No biggie.
I don't think you got hit though. I think you're safe. Anyway, yeah. That's about it. Then like I figured it was. I just got bored with it for one, but then beyond that, I was like, it's probably better to have hobbies that are not rooted in your job. So I think like that blog is pre-jogging era, which is like we're going way back. And then like I definitely think that jogging had like way more of a positive impact on my life than writing EU4 after action reports after playing the game for like 400 hours. One moment, please. All right, after you. So you got to set a precedent at some point, I was watching it go by and I saw their name like once and I was like, I'm going to remember it. And I saw it twice and then I said, they're going to get sick of it. I saw it a third time and I went, You gotta go.
Oh, I didn't know what you were doing. I thought you were talking about me taking all the items.
No.
Oh, okay. Someone was being a jerk.
No, they were just copy and pasting the same thing over and over. So.
Oh.
So then you got to bend the knee in the unban request, and you know we'll mine some humor out of it at the end of the show. It'll be a good time.
We're talking about hobbies. You know, I kind of feel like that sometimes because at home, I don't have any consoles or even like a gaming computer setup or anything.
Yeah.
So, like at night, I'll turn on Hob for a little bit, and he's always playing Warzone. I'm like, man, I would love to play some Warzone right now.
Yeah.
But I don't have the option to do it. But then I'm kind of glad that I don't.
I think it's
that
good.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Dude, honestly, like I think there's a great argument, and I know I'm gonna get bopped because this is Twitch, right? But in the way that the word is not traditionally used, I think there's some value in like abstinence as a form of like, what's the word I'm looking for? Compliance. Like if you don't wanna, like if you wanna lose weight, removing the temptation to eat crappy food by never buying it at the grocery store is probably like one of your best strategies. If you go to the grocery store and you're like, I'm on a diet, but I'm gonna buy like some stuff for my cheat day anyway, I think there's really high odds that eventually you're just gonna eat it instead of waiting for your cheat day. And then after you eat it, your compliance is gonna be lower after that because you're gonna be like, oh, what's the point? I already ate like the pirate's booty yesterday, so I just give up and I'll start again next week. And then you just do that like every day until you die.
Yeah, but the pirate's booty is chickpeas, so it's okay to eat.
It is not chickpea.
It's not?
It's corn and rice.
Oh.
It's not that bad for you, but it's not like.
So you're saying by not even having Warzone as an option, that's better than saying, oh, I have it, but I'm not gonna play it.
Yeah, like I mean, if you have something like you need to do with your time, like I think about this all the time, especially because like as you know, when you have a kid, you got more chores to do and less time to do it in. So the free time that I might have on like a nightly basis, I'm like, I get maybe like an hour and a half. I could play an hour of MLB The Show at 6 p.m. and then you know, be like, oh, that was a nice break, I deserve that, and then go get the rest of my my work done. But I find that like when I do that, I'm like, no, I'll just play like one more game. I'll just play like one, just that game I didn't do that well, so I'll just do like one more game. And then I'm like almost agitated when I have to stop and do like a chore, like set my videos or whatever. I'm like, I don't want to because I'd already swapped back into like, you know, recreation mode.
No, I understand. I understand what you're putting down. Watch yourself.
Oh, thank you, game.
One more should take. Ooh, please.
I think for me, why don't we get you some HP?
Yeah, there's a ton. No, there's a ton laying around.
Okay. I think it's I think it's sensible to just be like, you know, if you don't have the temptation in your house, like you're fine. Like I think if you like imagine if you were like a recovering alcoholic or something like that, you know, I think it's probably better to just like not have alcohol in your house than to just have alcohol and be like, nah, don't worry, I'm just not gonna drink it.
No,
it seems like you're standing like on the surface of the sun. I don't know if Warzone is quite on the same level, but
no, but it's like the same thing. I knew what you're gonna like. Say I did have Warzone, right? So
yeah.
It's like the same thing. So it's enjoyable, but when you're done, you're like up later, and then the next day is like you don't sleep as well.
Yeah. There's like knock-on effects. Do you really want to go fight? You want to go all the way to the dark room, huh?
Oh, I thought we were gonna get Eddie stuff.
Well, on the bright side, you yeah, there you go. You got that sun card. I mean, we could just fight Mega Satan. This is pretty good for me.
What should I take? Crown?
Nah, I think you should take nothing.
Okay.
I think we're gonna own him. I wouldn't even worry about it.
Okay. Holy boosh.
I'm only gonna be able to use it once, but it's pretty good. Almost done, I think. Dude,
we have one more. We have one more round.
Yeah, we got a few more waves of enemies, and then like a second phase.
I like it. I think we're okay.
I think we should be fine. And this guy's like not even hard anyway.
When he first came out, was he hard?
If you were like a baby, or maybe you were like so bad at games you couldn't even beat Super Mario Brothers on Luigi mode, then maybe. But if you're like a premier gamer with your own YouTube channel, Twitch channel, and gaming blog, then I don't think anything could possibly phase you, honestly. Hey! Not cool, man.
Should I not be shooting his hand?
Yeah, you should definitely be shooting his face. Like, that's the only part of him that takes damage.
Well, then why does the other side look like he's taking damage?
I mean, you can break his hand, but it's like, or do you want him to be inconvenienced, or do you want him to die? I guess is the question I'd ask you.
Look at this.
Oh, there we go. They're just helping out.
Ooh.
Okay, now I gotta back off.
Fun fight.
You might have to finish this one by yourself. I could pretty easily die.
Please don't.
You got tons of HP.
Sire. Ooh. This is just geometry, baby. All right.
And he is still pretty much alive. He's taking a very low amount of damage.
We bomb him? Yeah.
Drop the occasional bomb in there. Never mind. He's almost dead. He's almost dead.
How can you tell?
He takes visible damage as time goes on. Like, look at that. He's beating up, man. You know what? That's what your face would look like if you insulted my child in public. So just keep that in mind, chat.
The dub.
Dude, easy.
I mean, I don't know if I'd call it easy.
One of the easiest runs I've ever seen, to be honest.
30 seconds ago, I may die.
Yeah, because you took half the items that I was gonna have for myself.
You told me to take them. It's like you're saying, hey, eat this crumb cake, and then I eat it all, and you're like, I wish I had a piece of crumb cake for the coffee.
This guy goes crazy for crumb cake. Do you wanna play some Battle Royale?
Yes, I do.
Okay.